and welcome to your LSU football fix. It is Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. As you know, every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, we do your LSU football fix on the TigerBait YouTube channel, presented by Tramonte's Meat and Seafood, located at the corner of Jefferson and Airline. I've got a really cool special. Just spoke with Mike about all he's got coming up. Some really cool promotions coming to the shop. The pumpkin guessing game, as maybe some of you former patrons may remember, will be back. We'll touch on that when it goes live. But for all TigerBait watchers, if you go to Tramonte's and get a catering order, all right, you're going to get a free $25 gift card next time you come back. Just mention the show. Mention TigerBait and Preston Guy. They'll know exactly who you're talking about. And you will get a free $25 gift card on any order of 200 or more, which, you know, most catering orders are going to get you there at any place, anytime nowadays. So we got Jeremy Hill coming on the show in a bit. We're going to be talking about, can LSU get its first signature win under the Brian Kelly era? And I'm going to be honest, a signature win I'm going to consider like a top 10 type win, like one that will catch a lot of attention nationally. I don't think if you get a win over, like, you know, 25th ranked Mississippi State or something like that, it's not going to capture the attention quite the same as upsetting a Tennessee team. All right, Music commented on here twice. I told him I'd get to it first thing in the show. We can win with Nussmeier. We went from the Nuss Bus to Nussmeier. Nuss Bus, let's ride. All right, back to Nuss Bus. Okay, here's my thoughts on Nuss. Okay, he went 2 for 6 in the game this week. Of course, Jaden Daniels, he looked not good at all. He showed some serious flaws, some accuracy issues. His receivers didn't help him. He was a little too trigger happy with his legs, and he just showed some serious flaws, whereas he was playing very, very, very well coming into the game. And a lot of the Daniels haters out there now have ammo. However, if you go with Nuss, he's not the dynamic playmaker that Daniels is with his legs. And he's not ready. He needs to develop some. His decision-making is pretty awful. He's inconsistent. He does show talent with his arm. And I remember that touchdown he threw to Brian Thomas, thinking to myself, like, yeah, well, I mean, Daniels probably gets that completion. But Nussmeier threw it in a way where he could kind of catch it in stride, and it got there with a little more velocity than Daniels, and Brian Thomas had some room to run. But if you're going with Garrett Nussmeier this early in the season, you're writing this season off. You're writing it off. You're saying, I don't want to try to just roll with the veteran quarterback and win ball games right now. I want to take my lumps, let Garrett Nussmeier learn how to play on the job, and go from there. That's what you're saying, because we've all seen it. Like Hal Jubin's saying right here. It's plain to anybody watching. Neither of these guys are that great. To me, I'm not saying Jaden Daniels is your savior for the program, guys. Guys, I've never once come on this show and told you this year LSU is going to be a championship contender. I continue to believe, I've believed this for 6 months now, LSU is an 8-4 team, a good, not great team. Excuse me. And that's what I still believe, even after they struggled. Preston going to assault someone on Saturday. I commented on my friend Blake's show right before, and I know a lot of y'all come from Blake straight to here. I'll tell y'all the story about me going to the Tennessee game. I technically went as a recruit because my best friend in high school was a very athletic tight end, and a lot of schools were recruiting him heavy and hard. LSU, Bama. So, of course, the first thing he says is, hey, I've got my friend who's an offensive lineman, and he's totally legit. Why don't you and so I got to piggyback on his recruiting visits. But I'll tell y'all the story. I got another guy I'm interested to hear his story about that game, because we're about the same age group. He was also in high school for that game. So I'm going to bring him in. That is Jeremy Hill, and I think he's still getting set up or something. I'm going to give him just a second here. I'm going to get to a comment here. Kevin Veche 2 for 6 is not enough to judge Nuss' performance. JD isn't ready either. I disagree that JD isn't ready. Jaden Daniels is about as good as he's going to get. He's there. He's arrived. This is Jaden Daniels, y'all. Could he maybe slightly improve with some decision making? Could coaches put him in better positions? Maybe. Definitely maybe. But Nussmeier is a guy who should improve tremendously throughout his career. That's my point, is just roll with him. At least he gives you some legs to work with. Golden Boot Podcast has those eyes. Let's see here. You should discuss it with Hill. He loves Nuss too. I am going to discuss it with Hill. He's kind of getting his camera set up right now. He's backstage. Ryan Thibodeau with the big plug. Like, share, subscribe. Look, I'm going to put my banner up. Yeah, thank you, Ryan Thibodeau, for the shout out. And y'all share it to your social media. I'd really love to get some people up in here to see Jay Hill. All right, Jay, are you good? Give me a thumbs up if you're good, man. You kind of look like, yeah. Oh no, we dropped the camera. That was very dramatic. I wish I could have showed y'all that. All right. Jeremy Hill, what's going on, man?
What's up, brother? How are we doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thank you for joining tonight. All right. The year is 2010. Jeremy Hill is in high school. LSU is playing Tennessee for a morning game. Where is Jeremy Hill?
I was at that game.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Did you go as a recruit?
Yeah, I went to that game as a recruit. I actually feel like I lost some purple and gold blood in my veins because I was getting ready to walk out of the tunnel. And then I heard, like, we're getting another play. And I'm like, whoa, another play. Like, once I saw the snap over the head, I thought the game was over.
So you were down there during the game? Like, you weren't in the stands?
I was in the stands, but, like, once that snap went over the head, I thought the game was over. And so I'm walking down, about to go back into the locker room, go back into the recruiting room. And then you hear, like, oh, we're getting another play. So I'm, like, standing on the gate as I watched Stephen really rush that touchdown in there. So that was a big-time performance for the Tigers and a big-time win against Tennessee.
Do you remember Les's post-game speech?
See, I did not see that. I don't remember.
Okay, I did. So here's my story for the game. Okay, I got to piggyback on my one of my good friends who was like actually a good football player. He kind of took me out to go to that game. We got to go, do the whole recruiting thing. We got to go into the locker room after the game. I got to talk to T-Bob. That's where I met T-Bob after the game. He was hilarious. If you think he's inappropriate on whiskey and wine, dog, after that game, that guy was cracking up, and I got to see the broken helmet and all that good stuff. Going into the locker room, Les talking to his quarterbacks. Never before, fellas, have I ever gone to midfield and shook a coach's hand with a smirk on his and did it again with a smirk on mine. And dude, when I tell you, that whole locker room just lit up. And then, he gave his whole speech about 9 and 12. I call bullshit that you guys aren't good quarterbacks. You hear what they say? I call bullshit. Hey, that's subjective, but so you did not get to go to the locker room or anything like that. Did you talk to Les or anything like that for the game?
No, I got to go in the locker room, but the recruits don't go in there until they finish up the speech and the team breaks down and everyone's kind of going to the locker room. So I didn't get that part, but
none of us obeyed that rule on that day. I guess you were the one rule abider. I was in there. We all went right in, man, and nobody said anything. It was kind of pandemonium. But yeah, man, what a day. All right. That was a crazy day game. Now LSU has Tennessee back in Tiger Stadium for an 11 a.m. kickoff. Man, what you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the offense. I thought, especially in the first halves of these games against Mississippi State, and obviously the first half of that, most of that first half against Auburn, just was not great. Not the brand of football you want to play, especially when you're playing, one of the top 10 teams in the country. So I am worried about that. But the defense, I'm very encouraged about. Outside of those bust plays, I thought they played solid, forcing turnovers. I think they shored up a lot of the special teams that kind of was, won this team early on in the season. So I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere. Offense has to start fast. And if they can do that, I'm going to feel a lot better about this game.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's been the thing. They're 0 for 3 starting fast. against Power 5 teams, right? And that's got me greatly concerned. I have shifted the blame to Denbrock for that because you got the same players. And then magically when you're down 3 scores or, you got, 90 seconds to get a touchdown or else, magically these guys turn it on. And I feel like they're just being a little too conservative. All right. My guy Music in the chat box wanted me saying I should discuss the Nuss bus with you, man. Were you tempted to pull Jaden Daniels and put in Nuss?
I don't think at this point in the season that's probably the best move. Everyone kind of knows if they listen to Hutton Hill, they know I'm pumping Nussmeier, and they know I believe in the arm talent and everything that way. But I think this coaching staff, they really believe in Jaden Daniel and his leadership and what he's doing for this football team. So I'm not going to live in a fantasy land and think Nussmeier is going to walk in there and be the starting quarterback. This coaching staff really loves Jaden Daniels and what he does. So we got to support Jaden. Hopefully he improves, and especially in the passing game, and we'll go from there. But I do think Nuss he is a freshman at this point of his career, hasn't had a ton of reps. They haven't really built this offense around the stuff that he does well, and he kind of got thrown in there last week where quarterbacks, normally you're getting the reps with the ones. They're molding that game plan around you. When you kind of get thrown into the fire, I think we'd be fooling ourselves expecting to look like Joe Burrow in 2019. So we'll see what Jaden can do. I think if he's healthy, he's definitely going to be the guy. And I don't really think they have much of a plan for Nussmeier this season.
Yeah. So my thoughts on Nussmeier, and I bring this up as kind of the low-hanging fruit example. Remember Jay Lee? Remember how they threw him out there as a redshirt freshman and he clearly wasn't ready? I mean, that was a talented guy, and I know he became a head. That is fact. He was 100% a head case from that point moving forward in his career. I wonder, how good could he have been if he hadn't thrown so many pick sixes and just gotten killed? I see a lot of that in inexperienced Nussmeier. And my thought is, if you go with Nussmeier at this point in the season, you're basically saying, this season, we're done with it. We're just going to put in the young guys, get some experience, and let them take his lumps and have a learning curve, develop him for the future. I'm not a huge proponent of throw guys in the fire. I like to protect guys and wait until they're developed and ready. Golden Boot Pod wants to know, and that's probably Pooh Bear in the chat there managing that account. I'll ask this. Was Auburn a one-off or a trend? What you think?
I think it's becoming a trend at this point. I think you'd be fooling yourself to think, the offense has been out there more than enough occasions. Really can't count that Southern and New Mexico game, but when they played Power 5 schools, they've really started slow. So I would go with a trend. Obviously, I would love it to be the other way, and that those are kind of outlier performances. Obviously, you got a ton of time to watch film and get better, but I'm going to go with the trend because that's what we've seen with this offense week in and week out.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think what I'm hoping is that the defense was the one-off. That offense feels like you gonna get what you gonna get with it. That's what it seems like to me. The defense was really good, and Auburn's offense was not good. That was just bad defensive plays at first, and they eventually dug themselves out of it and made some excellent plays, and they got some ball hawks on that defense, no doubt. Harold Perkins, Greg Brooks, man, BJ Ojulari, Jay Ward, all those guys made game-changing plays. But I'm going to hope that the busted coverages, that was you lost Major Burns, and you're going to get things rocking and rolling. That's what makes me nervous going into this Tennessee game. Hendon Hooker's a baller. Boy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's special. And I think, I don't know how he didn't start the season for Tennessee last year, but as soon as he kind of took over those reins, he hasn't looked back. You want to look at what elite quarterback play in the SEC looks like. Tiger fans are going to get a great glimpse of that this Saturday at 11 a.m. He can spin the ball. He can run it. He takes care of it. He doesn't turn it over. And he's not afraid to throw the ball downfield to his weapon. So you're going to get that at 22nd on the play clock per play type of vibe and type of energy and type of pace. So, just be ready.
We're talking about a guy at Tennessee who's thrown 41 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, y'all. 71% complete this year. He's a baller. And that's what makes me nervous. Now, we're going to take a quick break to hear from Tramonte's, and me and Jay Hill will be right back in just a bit, guys.
Tramonte's has meat. Tramonte's has seafood. Tramonte's has much more. Tailgating and homegating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats, ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs, 20 flavors of sausage for the grill, daily lunch specials, and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tramontes.com.
That is Tramonte's at the corner of Airline and Jefferson. Remember, y'all, on any order, catering order of $200 or more, you're going to get a free $25 gift card if you mention TigerBait. All right, let's see. We're going to, I like bringing in a radio guy like Jeremy Hill, who, manages, off the cuss comments all the time. So I can throw out some kind of comments and we'll handle them together here. Let's see here. If Nuss goes in, we're in trouble. I don't know about trouble, but I do think the offense, it changes the way it operates, man. I'm trying to think, 2012. No, Mettenberger was there already when you got there, man. When you throw in quarterbacks with completely different skill sets, man, don't you think that kind of just throws your whole team out of whack?
Yeah, it just depends on what type of offense you're running. I think back then with that Les Miles offense, it was a lot of I formation. So you really didn't get to, make that big of a difference. And I know when Jordan got in there, they mixed in some speed option stuff. But back then, I would definitely say no. But now I think more than ever, they've kind of tailored this offense around Jaden Daniel and him using his legs.
Right.
You saw them kind of mix in that flat play with Mason Taylor. He's running the flat, and Jaden has the option to either run it or kind of pitch it to the flat to him. So they're running a lot of stuff like that with Jaden in there and kind of using his legs as a strength for this team. So I think Nuss he's a redshirt freshman, just hasn't had a ton of reps out there, and especially in hostile, SEC football games, right, which we know what the pressure is like in those type of situations. So, yeah, like I said, man, they're going to ride with Jaden and kind of see what he can do. I just don't think I don't think we're going to see much of Nussmeier this season.
A lot of J Hill love in the chat. Getting this here. Hill can handle anything. Having J Hill is awesome. Ask Hilly, if LSU falls behind 14-0, do you turn to Nuss?
I personally would, but I just know I'm probably not going to see that. I just think Nuss gives you the best chances with your receivers down the field. He's got to, give those guys opportunities to get some jump balls. He's got to not be scared to, throw the ball 25 yards plus down the field. We're last in the SEC in that type of production right now. So if it was up to me, I would do that, but I don't want to live in fairy tale land. I think they're going to roll with Jaden.
Well, it's almost like, can we get Nussmeier in for like the first, 14 minutes of the game or so? Get those 3-and-out drives that you start off the game with. Get those out of the way, and then let's go to Jaden now that he's all, we're all broken in here, because those slow starts are killing you, man. You gotta get something going here. All right, prediction for the game. Do you have any kind of score prediction you're thinking?
Oh, man. I may get banned from radio and banned from this station if I give my honest opinion of what I think is going to happen in this game. So let's bleed some purple and go. Let's rep the Tigers. I think the Tigers win. I hope. I just honestly, I don't feel great about this one. I just think, with the defense, kind of reverting back last week, giving up some bust, the offense really slowing down a ton, especially to start football games. This is the last team you want to play like that against.
All right, I don't let most guests sway my opinion, but you're one of the few, and I'm going to ask you a question, and based on your question, I will alter my prediction. Day games in Tiger Stadium. We're not talking like, the 5 p.m. kickoff, where the sun eventually. It's 11 a.m. All right, as a player in Tiger Stadium, is it harder to get up and at them and perform for that 11 a.m. game versus that, crisp Saturday night, 7 p.m. kickoff?
Yeah, it's definitely harder. I remember I didn't play in too many of those games, but the one I did just happened to be in College Station. Played 8-4. Those guys who just lose
Texas
a bunch of games in the SEC. Yeah, lose a bunch of games in the SEC every year. But
Johnny can't beat LSU. Yeah.
yeah, 0-2. But I think it definitely changes things up because you're used to playing so many night games. You kind of got a full day. You can sneak a nap in. You can kind of do what you want, but you're kind of speeding up that order of operations, and you're getting up at 5, 6 in the morning. You're on the field probably like 8 or 9 in the morning, and it's just totally different from what you're used to. So,
Right.
Coach Kelly, I know that's something that they kind of changed up this season. He's getting their bodies up and rolling, with that walkthrough early in the day, which I think will help this team in a game like this. But that's why I kind of makes me worry even more. Like the offense is starting slow during night games. Like now you're trying to ask these kids to, start it off hot at 11 a.m. And so we'll see how it goes. Everyone knows I believe in my Tigers, and I definitely want them to win, but just got a weird feeling about this one.
So Jay Hill went 1-0 at 11 a.m. games at LSU, and it wasn't even at LSU. It was on the road, but you did beat the Heisman winner. Man, what a cool talking point. Like Johnny Football, we went 2-0 against. You played here 2 years, and you beat them both times. What a cool talking point. Yeah, I'm just gonna say what you kind of kept the silent part there. I'm gonna say the silent part here. I could see LSU putting Tennessee on upset alert if this were that magical Saturday night in Death Valley. The fans were all rocking and rolling, y'all. Death Valley's great at 11 a.m. for a big game. It's magical for that 7 a.m. game. It's just straight up magical, y'all. And I don't think we're going to get that magical. We're just going to get a really good atmosphere. Really good. It's a sellout. Congrats to LSU for selling out the stadium. I'm looking forward to seeing it, being there in person. What also makes me nervous is that we're seeing the offense continue to do what it does. Defense showed some cracks in the armor, some blown coverages, and a guy like Hendon Hooker will absolutely eat you alive. I think the offense bounces back a little bit because Tennessee has one of the worst ranked passing defenses in the country. But I don't think it'll be enough. I think something to the effect of 28-21 LSU. I'm sorry, Tennessee. Tennessee wins 28-21. So, somewhere around that ballpark. Let's see here. We'll get to some more of y'all's comments here. Let's see here. We'll get over 50 yards rushing. Yeah, probably maybe so. Man, a lot of people are obsessed with this quarterback battle. I mean, we got guys created "Give Me Nuss" accounts. Man, what a crazy crazy burner account name there, man. So I'm thinking that this team's probably about 8-4 this year for LSU. Do you think I'm spot on with that?
Look, I was pumping.
You're gonna go higher,
heavily. Yeah, I had them 9-3 before the season started. I think winning that Florida State game, which I had them winning, would have definitely made me feel a lot better about that because I think we probably maybe lose that Tennessee game, maybe lose that Alabama game. But now I feel really great about that Arkansas game. I thought that was going to be a lot, tougher game, going into it. But kind of seeing their defense this season, I'm not really blown away about what I'm seeing from the Razorbacks. And so, and then obviously you already got that Mississippi State game out the way. So we'll see. I think if they win this week, then I may go 10-2, man. I may be starting feeling froggy around this piece. But
see, look,
yeah, it's going to be a big time game for them.
I feel you, and I've had that same exact like notion of man, I don't know. I see some things I like. I could see 10-2, but I'm like, all right, Preston, look, you're not a fan. You got to be the media professional and buy into what you're actually seeing. And not yet, not there yet. Josh Forbes, put some batteries in the fire chirper.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, I need to do that. That's like the 20th person that told me that.
Man.
I need to get that figured out.
Wait, 20th person? Are you doing a bunch of these shows?
No, I just haven't replaced it in probably 2 months or something.
Well, a lot of times I just get tired of it.
This is like my little man cave upstairs. I'm rarely up here, but yeah, I need to replace it anyway.
No, it's a pretty cool little man cave. I'm actually kind of mourning right now. My man cave. We had to consolidate. I got a baby coming in a couple weeks, and my man cave had to go the way of the dinosaurs. So pretty sad about it. It's the worst, man.
You gotta take care of the little ones, though. You
got to take care of the little ones, man. We got to get a nursery, but eventually I'm hoping I can get him into football by the time he's 2.5, and we can make his room the new man cave. I might be a little, that might be a little optimistic. Man, I don't know. We got to ask Jay Hill from Leonard Stewart. We're focused on the passing game, obviously, because of Auburn, but wouldn't the key to beating Tennessee be the running game and eating clock to limit their offensive style? That's actually Really good angle there by Leonard. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, someone asked me that question earlier today on the radio, and they were like, "Hey, I know Jaden's kind of had some success, speeding things up a little bit, but I think this is probably the worst week that you want to be doing that, setting yourself up for 3-and-outs, putting that Tennessee offense right back on the field, and doing that. I think you kind of take a page from Mike Leach. It doesn't have to necessarily be running the ball, but I think of all the weeks, this is where you huddle up, take your time, get to the line, survey the defense, and you try to execute at a high level, and you're not trying to speed things up and rush through this game, because the last thing you want is them to have 3 or 4 or 5 extra possessions. They're going to get points on the board. I know the defense has played well this season, but I just think this offense is probably one of the best in the country. So you want to keep Hendon Hooker and that team off the field.
I just noticed you got a beware of dog sign. You got a dog up there in the man cave too?
Yeah, I got a Rottweiler and a pit bull. Those are my boys, man. They're downstairs.
Right, those are dogs. So. You need the beware of dogs.
Yeah,
I was going to ask if there's not actually dogs. Are you just trying to say you got that dog in you, or is
that's only Zach Wilson, man. That's only Zach Wilson. He's the only one with that real dog in him.
He's got that cougar in him, is what he's got. Legend. Oh man, what a PR blunder for him that has just turned out to be like the best thing ever. Look, here's this guy, Jay Hill. I know you didn't say Tennessee gonna beat LSU, huh? He didn't.
I didn't. Look, I didn't say a score. I didn't say anything. I just said I don't feel great about it. That's all I said, man. Look, I know you'll be castrated around these parts. You ever pick against the Tigers, they hold it against you for perpetuity. So got to be careful. I'm paying attention, guys. I don't pick against the Tigers.
My guy said castrated, man. Oh, dog. Look, you didn't say it, but it kind of sounded like you were thinking it very loudly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, let's see here. Marcus Freeman saying their run defense is pretty good. Look, here's my thought on LSU running the ball, since we asked Jay Hill about it. He knows a little bit more about running backs than I do, but your running back depth is shallow and your offensive line is still struggling. I think you have to maintain balance. I mean, you really do. This team's not good enough at running the ball to get one-dimensional. It's not like you have Jay Hill back there and you're just running a toss dive 54 times a game and he rewards you with 1,400 yards in a season. But, you have to keep them honest to be able to run the ball with this team. That's my thoughts there. Zach may go after Giselle.
I wouldn't be shocked by that.
But the quality of quarterback play rapidly declines. But let's be honest, Zach will probably be retired before Tom Brady, if we're just being honest.
Look, man, that's a tough franchise to turn around, and Tom seems like a vampire at this point. Like, is that guy ever going to stop? But I think this year may be the year. I think maybe he may be hanging it up, but we'll see. I don't bet against that man ever.
All right, YouTube user, creative name. All right, who starts at running back? Have you talked about that at all this week?
Yeah, we talked about that a lot today. I think they go with Josh Williams. I think they feel really great about him. Taking care of the football, not fumbling it, running tough yards, and doing all things of that nature. I think with Emery kind of having that fumble at the end of the game kind of left a sour taste in the coaching staff mouth. So I don't think they're going to, hand him that starting job, even though to me he's the most talented runner in that backfield. I mean, you just saw it clear as day last week. It's easier to run some plays against Southern or New Mexico, but we're talking about 4-star, Power 5 recruits that go to Auburn, and he's throwing those guys off of him and taking it to the house. And so that's the kind of running back play you expect from LSU running backs. Hopefully Emery can kind of get the yips out with the drops and the fumbles. And I think if he does earn that respect from the coaches, I definitely think he needs to be the lead back going forward.
Look, man, I've been really responsible for some Josh Williams slander. The way I've said it is he's not as good as your usual third back at LSU, because typically you've got a blue chipper as your third back. That's just history at LSU. But man, he runs with some heart. He gets low, he's little, and he's just tough. Real tough. I like what he's doing. I don't really care who starts. Like, am I off that? Like it just rotate them, keep them all fresh.
Yeah, that's just the way Frank Wilson does things. He's got to rotate, and then whoever's kind of running the hottest, that's who's going to finish the game. So you keep everyone fresh, first 3 quarters, and then kind of whatever guys kind of having the best day. they'll normally finish with that guy. So at LSU, really kind of never really mattered who was the starting running back. Even myself, I finished the season, with however many yards. I didn't start every game my freshman year. I didn't start every game my sophomore year either. So that's not the end of the world. You just kind of want to have whatever guys in there finishing the game, playing at a high level.
Well, I'll tell you one guy who's lucky there's not a huge depth in this running back room. That's John Emery, man. Because look, great run. That 20-yard run, that he showed some heart on that. I think he might be the most talented guy back there, but you can't put the puppy on the ground. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't fumble. Yeah. And I'm sure you in particular know Frank Wilson don't play around with fumbles. Like,
yeah, look, if you go back and watch that replay, even on that touchdown run, he had the ball a little loose, high stepping, having a good old time. And the first person tapping on that shoulder was Frank Wilson. I know exactly what he's saying. I didn't need to be a lip reader or be on the sideline to hear it. I know he's telling them, tuck that ball in, pay attention to your ball security. It's the life of the program. And that's something that they don't mess around with. And so to be in a 4-minute situation with the game on the line, he would have been the GOAT that you don't want to be in Baton Rouge, if Auburn finds a way to go score a touchdown and Greg Brooks doesn't make that play. So I know like that's how you lose favor with the coaches. And so hopefully he can gain that back throughout his work in the week. And like you said, I do think he's the most talented runner. You can just see the type of runs he makes. A lot of the other guys in that room can't do the things he does.
Yeah, right. Rob Boudreaux, Preston's got some good whiskey that back there. Now, Jay Hill, are you a whiskey guy at all? Whiskey types are a different breed.
Like I got spend a good 4 years in Kentucky, so my
Really?
whiskey palate's gotten a lot better. Yeah, well, it's like border Cincinnati.
Yeah,
so
Cincinnati right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I lived on the Kentucky side for my whole time there. So I got my nice share of whiskey, and I'm definitely a fan.
So I don't know it as well as other people. I'm like, yeah, this tastes good. That was smooth. That'll be good mixer. This is the good stuff. I also have this one here. This is all from Tramonte's, y'all. You can see he's got his thing on there. Meat Man, my lights. Yeah, see, Meat Man. It's single barrel, which means they only made one. They sampled it in SAF. So if y'all want to check any of these whiskeys out, y'all can go check them out at Tramonte's, y'all. That's actually a really big business growing with him. Let's see here. Why don't we have some option plays with Jaden Daniels? That's just not really the Denbrock thing. Not a ton of that that he runs. I don't know. I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but I'd rather them just run their offense and do their thing. He's got good legs. Let's see here. See, we got Nuss for Prez, man. Emery needs 10 to 15 touches. He's that home run hitter. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, I mean, if you really look at the backs that's been in that room, I know I just don't count the New Mexico and Southern game, but as far as big time plays in the passing game, I know that was a busted coverage, but last week you needed all the production you could get in the passing game. So you take that Emery play out, God knows what Jaden's stats would have looked like if you take that play out. So he's the one really making the big play. We just talked about the touchdown run that he had. The other guys really aren't, making those plays. And I think, they do run hard. Josh will run hard. Kane will stick his head in there and run hard. But it seems like they're just kind of taking the yards that the offensive line blocks for, and they're not really, going to hit their head on the goalpost, which I think Emery, any given play, he has the opportunity to do that. So, yeah, I've always been in the camp of even last year when he had to sit out for academics, like, you got to get that guy on the field. Like, not many 5-stars try through this program and don't really have that production at the running back position. So, you definitely got to feed Emery the rock.
Hey, guys, if you're enjoying the show and enjoying Jay Hill here, do me a favor, hit that like button and share this out to your social media. I really appreciate your support. As y'all all know, it helps with the algorithms that, controls guys like the livelihood of guys like me and Jeremy Hill. So, y'all help us out there. Don't sleep on Kane. He's a beast. And that's kind of my point. 10 to 15 sounds heavy for one guy. Just because, how many carries are you going to give a game? You're going to run the ball 40 times? You're going to run the ball 50 times? I just spread it out. Spread the load. Keep those legs fresh. I'm trying to think. 2014, the year after you left, LSU beat Ole Miss. Remember, Kenny Hilliard came off the bench. He was really fresh, and you knew that was a quality back. And I think they ran the ball 9 straight times with Kenny Hilliard at Ole Miss, but he was so fresh. He was able to, do his thing. Boxing Basics says he loves Rottweilers, man. You have some like straight up man dogs in your house.
Let me see if they'll come here. Hey, Coco! Come here!
His name's Kobe?
Yeah, Kobe and Shaq, man. Kobe and Shaq are my dogs.
That's pretty pretty badass.
There you go. Hey, come here.
I'm going to hold up, y'all. I really want to see the dog. No, he's not coming?
He may be coming. Let me see if he'll come up here.
Let's get him. I want to see the dog. Y'all know how much I love dogs, y'all.
Kobe, come here.
Leonard wearing their... Hey, hold up. I love the smoky grays. I think they look awesome. And the fact that it's, the Smoky Mountains, you wear smoky gray. Love the energy, man.
Got your wish, brother.
Oh, let's get him.
Come on.
Look how happy Jeremy is.
It's the big guy right there.
Oh, hey, now is that Shaq or Kobe?
This is Kobe right here.
Kobe.
Yeah, that's the rock, man.
Man, look
this is Shaq, man, right here. Come here, Shaq. This is the little pit man. Say what's up.
Oh, we get the pit too.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Shaq.
Yeah, these are boys right here.
There.
Gotta beware of the dogs, man.
So I have a corgi.
Hey, now tell everyone in the chat the batteries are pulled out. They don't have to worry about that.
Wait, you pulled out the batteries too?
Yeah, man. They're good to go now. No more beeping for the chat, man.
Jay Hill said, I'm going to call an audible real quick.
We're about to lose viewers around here, man. We got to get that beep noise out of here.
The audio quality is top tier now. Let's see. Do they get along? They look like they get along, huh?
Oh, yeah, they're great. They're both neutered anyway, but they get along. They're brothers. Even though Kobe likes to steal food from time to time.
Right.
But they're pretty good.
Well, sometimes Kobe likes to hang on to the ball a little too long.
Yeah.
But as long as you get along, championships will come, huh? LSU should wear their all whites. What do you think about LSU's all whites, man?
I like it for, non, SEC games. So if you're playing New Mexico, you want to pop them out. It's no big deal. Playing Southern, no big deal. But God forbid we're playing Tennessee or Alabama on national television. You gotta have the traditionals on.
Yeah,
man. You gotta have that white and gold on, and you gotta try out there those beautiful gold helmets with that white stripe and purple stripes on there. This has to be the way it goes down.
I don't think for like a game with this many eyes, those normal uniforms are such a brand thing. Roll with your brand. You're LSU. Sometimes you play around with it. Now, don't get me wrong. The uniforms themselves are God tier. Man, I love those all whites. But like you're saying, it just means something. That traditional LSU. Not for a top 10 game against Tennessee. It's just too big. I think JD, man, people love talking about the quarterbacks, man. I feel like I've been talking about quarterbacks for 11 straight months. Jaden Daniels knows he's not a pocket passer. That style won't get him into the league. I mean, he had the legs are what makes him special. I think if he were running a 5 flat 40, I don't think he's better than Walker Howard or Nussmeier if he's running a 5 flat 40. Am I crazy?
No, not at all. I think we all kind of seen Jaden's strong suit. Now, I think I talked about earlier today on Hutton Hill, and it's that, when you're a quarterback who threw 10 touchdowns and 10 interceptions the season prior, and you're trying to go to a new school and a new conference, and you're trying to be the guy and lead the team, the last thing you can do is, turn the ball over. And I think Jaden's kind of taken that and took it to a level 10, and he just won't even get it remotely close. I can't even remember a pass that they dropped an interception this season. So he's not even, getting it even remotely close to being in trouble. And, against bad teams, like, you can figure out ways to win those football games. But when you're playing good teams, like, you're going to go 3 and out. You're not going to be able to, sustain drives, and you're going to be giving the ball back to the other team. So that's something that I think everyone in this town, the coaching staff, everyone's supporting Jaden and want to see him make that leap. But it kind of gets to a point of insanity where it's like, okay, this kid's not going to turn into Deshaun Watson, or he's not going to turn into, Bryce Young overnight. It's kind of, you got to accept who he is and what he brings to the team. So hopefully he can make that leap. I think for me, it blows my mind the stats Kayshawn has to this point. I think he had these stats in like one game last year. So we got to get him the ball. So hopefully Jaden can start getting these receivers the ball, and because I think really that's their weapons on the offense. You got a lot of talented receivers.
I'll say this. He has elite legs. I don't think anybody's like he might be one of the best runners in the country as a quarterback, right? It feels like he's using those as an insurance policy. And he hasn't thrown anything anywhere close to an interception. Like you said, nothing dropped, or it's been very safe throws he's attempted. I feel like he's a little like gun shy right now. Mm-hmm. He's not wanting to throw risky passes. Just don't lose the game. And if I can't find an open guy, I'm not going to force that guy in a tight window and rely on an accurate pass, because I can just tuck it and run it at any time. And I think that has been problematic. But at the same time, he's not throwing those interceptions that maybe another guy would. But even Brian Kelly mentioned in his presser, he wants him to start taking some riskier throws. So, and I agree, to beat Tennessee, you have to.
Yeah, you definitely have to.
I mean, you can't throw for 80 yards and beat Tennessee.
They may get that in a drive. Like, they literally may get 80 yards passing in a drive. Like, that, I wouldn't put that past. And that's just the type of offense they have. And I think good news for LSU. Hopefully Tillman isn't playing. I'm pretty sure he's probably day-to-day at this point. But I think if he's not playing, that definitely helps the defense out a ton, especially kind of with Major Burns being out. I thought you saw – you took the brunt of that with him being out with some of those busts, because the defense was so solid. Like, we were bragging about the defense. Maybe we jinxed them a little bit, but when you watch that 2020 defense, you watch that 2021 defense, it's like, it seemed like every other drive there was some guy running wide open down the field. That UCLA game was just like burned into my brain, and that Mississippi State game to start the year burned into my brain. It's just like, I still see guys running wide open to this day. So that's kind of was something that Matt House and his defense kind of shored up, and I thought Major was a big part of that. So hopefully, going into this game, they can continue to kind of get back to that play, because I think the defensive line is as advertised, and I do everyone in this town loves what Harold Perkins brings to a game. So you do have guys who can get after the passer. So you got to have a secondary that's just not allowing guys to just run down the field wide open.
Yeah, the front seven's been great. And I think the DBs are playing very aggressive. They just need to be more consistent in the coverage end of it. You know what I mean? Because they did let a few blown coverages. It looked a little Kevin Steele-esque at times, but they straightened it out, and a good DC should straighten these things out eventually. We're just, we're going to have to see if that defense can do it. That's part of the reason I didn't like this matchup. The way I keep on saying is it stinks. I don't like it. I hate it. I got bad juju. My skin's, I got goosebumps going the wrong way about this game, guys. I just got a bad feeling. 11 a.m. and they got a bye week. So that receiver you're talking about, he's getting healthy. Tennessee, they're getting, they've been more battle tested. They have a more experienced quarterback. Less new faces they're working with in this, and they're on a bye week, and they get to dodge a bullet of a Saturday night in Death Valley. That stinks. I don't like it. Bad juju, y'all. That's why I'm not taking LSU in the upset. I just don't like it. It's bad vibes for me. Man, people are still talking about these quarterbacks, calling him Jordan Jefferson, which I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know that I agree with that at all. Let's see here. Whew. Hey, guys, if y'all got any questions for Jay Hill, go ahead and knock it out. I'm about to get him out of here so we don't take up his entire Tuesday night. Let's see here. Josh makes a good point about quarterbacks throwing receivers open and taking chances. That's from Edward O. And Nussmeier definitely does that. He definitely does that. I remember that Brian Thomas throw against New Mexico where he kind of hit him and gave him the ability, the way he threw it. A lot of times Jaden Daniels is hitting receivers and they can catch it, but it's not like they have a ton of room to run because of the way it's thrown.
Yeah, I think for Garrett, that's why everyone who listens to our show, they're always gonna come in here with the Nuss talk, because that's who I wanted to be the starting quarterback going into the season, because I know, yeah, you're gonna have to deal with some interceptions, but he's gotta give these receivers chances to make, jump
Yeah.
ball catches down the field. He's gotta, give these guys an opportunity to make plays down the field, and he's not gonna be scared. I know Gunslinger is kind of the name that everyone kind of slaps onto him, but at the end of the day, he's a freshman, hadn't played a ton of football yet, still has to go through his growing pains, and the arm talent is there. I think if you go to a practice, you watch this kid warm up, you can't deny the arm talent. It's definitely there. So,
Yeah, no doubt.
but I think Daniels, like I keep saying, he's the guy they're going to roll out with. So I can't get too.
Got to get behind your guys. Yeah. Look, my thought is that Jaden Daniels isn't perfect. He showed a lot of flaws, but he's probably still the best you're going to get this season, y'all. Just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like he does do some things that you enjoy. I'm also going to say the receivers, they're incredibly talented, no doubt about it. But they got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
They got to catch the ball. Edward O, how many yards for LSU to win? How many yards do they need to rush for? It's a good question.
I'll go a healthy 175. I think you got to probably get 100 from the backs combined, and probably 70 plus from Jaden with his legs. For me to sit here, and I would love for Jaden to throw for 300 yards. I never thought Ashford from Auburn would throw for 300 yards in a football game this year, but there we were last week watching him, do that dirty dance on our defense. But
like by halftime.
yeah, so I think you definitely got to go 170 plus on this Tennessee team.
Yeah, he had on his first 6 completions, he had 194 yards. I was sitting there thinking to myself, dude, this is ridiculous. This is like you played some awful kid in Madden, and he doesn't know what he's doing, but he throws a couple 50-50 balls up, and oh man, it's touchdowns and big plays, man. It was not a lot of fun to watch that. A little ridiculous. Yeah, I think if LSU runs for less than 100, they can't win this game. Because you do have to have some consistent movement of the ball on the ground. You do want to keep Hendon Hooker off the field and get that time of possession going. I would say less than 150, you're probably in bad position. If you let run for less than 100 and you just cannot run the ball, I think Tennessee going to win handily. So at least 150. I think you're right on the money. Right on the money with how many yards you need to win the game, truly. Well, Jeremy, I really appreciate you popping in the show here on a Tuesday night, man. It's always nice running into you and talking to you. Why don't you tell the people where they can keep up with you if they don't already know?
Yeah, man. You can follow me on Instagram at Jeremy Hill. And then also, if you want to check us out on the radio every day, we're on Hutton Hill, ESPN 104.5 if you're listening on the radio. We are on Apple and Spotify. And also, you can jump in the Bayou for a chat. It's this most glorious chat. A lot of our good folks that's in the Bayou for a chat are here today. So you can get on YouTube and just type in Hutton Hill. We're 1 to 3, Monday through Friday. And we're just having a blast. And we're always trolling A&M. So it's just great radio.
All right, look, any trolling of A&M, man, I'm all behind it, man. Texas 8-4. All right, bud. Catch you later.
There we go. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one, Preston.
That was Jeremy Hill, former LSU running back, of course, LSU star. Appreciate him for jumping in. Gerald Ryan says LSU with the upset 24-20. All right. I'm going to thank a couple of my sponsors real quick because we ran a little long on that interview. I love sitting down talking with him. Can you blame me? He's a cool dude. Remember, Celebrity Theaters, located off of Jones Creek, y'all, the old Oak Cinema 8. It's been renovated. It is nice, locally owned. It's got all the luxury seating, the reclining seats you want. Got frozen daiquiris, not open bar, but they have the bar there. So if you want to go watch the LSU game, it is free cover, no charge. They have awesome game day specials like this. Y'all go check out Celebrity Theaters. Remember, recently renovated, looking really good. They also have locations in Broussard, in Ruston. My favorite theater. I supported them before they paid me to support them. So y'all go check them out. And of course, presented by Dead Soxy. Remember, guys, promo code TigerBait gets you 25% off on any order. And if they have a holiday special going on, you're also going to get whatever that holiday special is just by putting our code in. So if it says Christmas 35, just put in TigerBait, y'all. Supports the show. They do tons of specials. Right now, if you go visit their site, they're giving you an opportunity to score a free pair, which best socks you'll ever own, I promise you. By signing up, you'll be alerted for new styles when they drop, which sources tell me they're getting new styles in very soon. Don't forget to visit the team colorways page to check out the color combinations, such as the purple and gold socks we all know. These are the thicker non-dress socks. Mardi Gras. And, of course, don't forget, Who Dat Nation, we got our black and gold collection. So all of the colors you want, or if you're just looking for a regular pair of socks, you like footies. I like footies. I just threw the footies. Here are some footies. They have all those good socks made of the highest quality material. All right, I'm going to get to a few comments. We got about 5 or 10 minutes before I roll out of here. So get your comments in, and I will take them. We got LSU 31, Tennessee 24. Man, a lot of people high on LSU. Highly recommend Hunting Hill, 1 to 3 p.m. weekdays. Edward, you are on every YouTube chat I've ever seen ever. And I 100%, I believe I've actually watched that show and seen you on there. Edward O is truly an LSU YouTube warrior. Nachos and medium drink. Hold up, man. Hold up, Edward. Have you been to like a sporting event or a movie theater in the last 10 years? That's a good deal once you're in there. Not to mention, kind of made up for by the free cover. They also do weekly specials, like other specials. That's one they bring every week. But on game day, they announce certain like wine specials, drink specials, that kind of stuff. Good stuff. If LSU runs for 200, 200, 220, passing is enough. Similar to Mississippi State stats, 207 rushing, 210 passing. LSU can win with those numbers. With 150 yards rushing, you need 250. Yeah, see, that's where I was getting at, Palermo. I'm exactly on the same page as you. It just depends. I think if you're at like 300 passing and 85 rushing, you're in trouble. On the flip side, if you're at 200 rushing and 85 passing, you're also in trouble. It just depends on the flow of the game. That being said, you really want to get at least, you want to be able to run the ball and move the chains with some consistency. If you're running for less than 100 yards, you're not locking up the clock, y'all. Just straight up. And I think Hendon Hooker has thrown 61 touchdowns in his career. That is more than Joe Burrow threw in a season at LSU. Now, granted, one season, but you get what I'm saying. 61 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 71% complete this year. Hendon Hooker's a dog, y'all. He ain't throwing an interception this year. Keep him off the field. You do want to run the ball, but also this passing defense for Tennessee is awful. Yeah, it's cheap, but still. Look, I'm dog. I get you. Okay, like $10. Look, $10 is $10, my guy. But I mean, what's the market? I mean, have you seen this economy? What is gas at? What is milk at? They're probably selling that at cost. You've been to the grocery store? I don't like to brag about the expensive places I've been, but I did go to the grocery store the other day, and whew. Let's see here. 50 for nachos and Coke. I love how I put these specials up, and people want to talk about that more than anything. Let's hope we get to the fourth quarter with a chance to win. Great show again. Thanks for your work. Hey, appreciate you for joining us, Kevin Vache. Let's see here. He's due for a few picks. You talk about Hendon Hooker, or we talk about Jay Daniels, because neither one of them have a pick. Crying. What's up, Crying Belly? Appreciate you for joining in, man. You have to rewatch the show. We're right at the end here. Craft, yep. Oh, who was asking about the whiskey? Rob Boudreaux. Let's see here. Rob Boudreaux, where do you mention that? I want to show y'all the rest of the whiskey that's in, and I want y'all to tell me what the good stuff is. Let's see here. Man, got a lot of comments tonight. He says Woodford is good, which that's the one I showed y'all earlier. But also single barrel. So you can only get this at Tramonte's. As you can see, you got the Tramonte's hand select sticker here. We got Blue Note, Jefferson Reserve, Pritchard Hill. That's who makes it. Again, single barrel, only available at Tramonte's. And Sazerac Rye. straight whiskey series, single barrel. So I'm told by all my whiskey people that is really good stuff. So someone confirmed to me. I wanted to put those all up. And of course the Woodford Reserve, if you missed it. Someone who's a whiskey guy, tell me, did I get the goods? Did Mike Tramonte take care of me? Or are we just doing, you know, empty marketing for profit here? Mecky Garner gets a pick Saturday. All right. Miles suiting up. Miles pretty suiting up. What's he suiting up for? To go fishing? I'll say, you know, I actually did hear a radio guy talk about how LSU would have been better with Miles Brennan this week because he'll let it rip. I'm not there, but it was on my mind that how would this competition look with Miles Brennan out there? I still think the team is better just focusing on these guys and moving forward. Edward O says good stuff. Awesome, y'all. Well, look, he said it. He said it. So y'all go check it out. Tramonte's Corner of Jefferson and Airline. Let's see here. Got Steve Badass. Oh man. Badass. Because this is a PG show. Better drink up. Gonna need it to cry when Tennessee roll. Y'all. Jordan Jefferson, last quarterback to beat Alabama before Burrow. Yeah, someone was hating on Jordan Jefferson. Here's where I don't like the comparison. Jaden Daniels is a much better runner, has a much quicker release. Jordan Jefferson was a stiff quarterback, very stiff, very fast, but not as quick as Jaden. I'm not going to say Jaden's even better than Jordan Jefferson because Jordan Jefferson won some serious ball games at LSU, y'all. I mean, some big time, and he was, you know, he was in the national championship and did not play well there, but yeah, see, Jefferson couldn't cross the 50, but it's just a little, it's not the best comparison, y'all. Remember before Vince Young was playing well? Do y'all remember like 04, 03? Like he was a little thinner and he could run like hell, but his passing numbers were just atrocious. That's kind of what Jaden reminds me of is a younger Vince Young, just that long frame, long legs, can run. Of course he's smaller, but maybe, or you know what? Pat White, West Virginia is another good one. I think Pat White's better than Jaden Daniels. Not like, I get it. These are guys who ended up being higher profile, but I'm just saying they're more in that mold. Maybe if y'all can find someone in that mold who's lesser profile. I can't think of one, but maybe if y'all can, I'll go with it. Stop acting like you never tripped in your flip-flop before. Yeah, let's see here. $100 bet on us winning more than 6 games. What you think, Prestino? All right, if you promise never to call me Prestino again, I'll comment on this one. Breck Ballantyne. Yeah, I mean 6 games. Oh, easy. That's easy money, man. Take that. I mean, I you will not hear a more consistent take than me telling you I think LSU's an 8-14. No, he's not like Brandon Harris. Brandon Harris couldn't run like him. Brandon Harris could throw the ball with some velocity. He threw a 100-mile fastball with the football, but he wasn't. Nah, dog. he wasn't as good as Jaden Daniels, no doubt. Like guys, it's somewhere in between like the absolute worst quarterbacks LSU has had and the Vince Young Pat White comparison I'm making. Carrie Smith is banned from the channel forever. Prestino. I got us at 6. Get out of here. Look at the Eddie O ball getting all that content. What's up, Steven? Steven, it's been a while since seen you up in here, man. You need to come watch my show. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. I'll see you next week, man. Let's see. What did I point out? Oh, yeah. I was just pointing out how I see Ed O on everyone's show. He is the LSU GOAT of YouTube commenters. Like, I've never seen anybody in as many shows as him, but I mean, it's not a bad thing. Peter Parrish. I never saw Peter Parrish get on the field. And what's your thought on the beginning of the season? What that's what I thought. Beginning of the season, 8-4. All right, who do we lose to besides Tennessee, Bama? That's a good question. It's one of those deals where I just think like you're gonna split. Oh, guys, hold up. Mike Scarborough is hopping in here. He's about to troll this show somehow. Okay, no, he's not. All right, he's out. Usually he comes up in here and does this. All right, anyways, he's so cool, right? But I think it's one of those deals where you split either Florida, Ole Miss. I'll take Texas A&M out of the equation now. I think LSU curb stomps Texas A&M. But yeah, I'd say of those two. Who am I forgetting on LSU's schedule, y'all? Ole Miss, Arkansas. Yeah, I think you go 2-3 versus Ole Miss, Florida, Arkansas. That's what I think. Mike thinks you go. We do our post game show. He thinks you go 1-2 for those games. I love it, Mike. Yeah. Don't feed the beast, Hal. Don't feed him. If you tell him anything, he'll start hitting me with this one next. I don't know how to put this. I'm very important. Don't stroke that guy's ego. I like to tease. Me and Mike are close, y'all. We like to. There he is. Yeah, he's coming up in here trolling. Let's see here. Yeah, Arkansas. Yeah, that's who I was saying. Yeah, Arkansas makes it. Yeah. So I think LSU goes 2-3 in those games. Josh Forbes, we gonna lose Florida, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and UAB. Okay, so if LSU loses to UAB, do they win a championship 2 years later? I mean, when LSU gets upset by teams like Troy and UAB, that's what happens. 2 years later, they win a championship. I think that's what Josh is going for. What's my stance on the scripted plays and our slow starts on Power 5 teams? All right, Steven, I touched on this earlier. I don't like them. Okay. I'm putting some serious blame on Denbrock. Why is it when this team is backed into a corner and forced to score or lose, that magically this offense turns it on? Jaden Daniels led you on a 99-yard drive with a minute left. Don't give me it was prevent defense. They call the same defense everyone has ever called when a team's backed up 99 yards, y'all. Why is it when you're down 21 zip, you magically start moving a little bit more on offense? Why is it? Because your play calling is too conservative, Denbrock. You've got this image of what the defense is going to give you, and you don't want to. You playing not to lose the game, not to do turnovers. Go vertical. Be aggressive, and that goes for you too, Jaden Daniels. Get downfield, take a shot. Stop looking for to not lose the game just because you have the luxury of not being in a position where you're about to lose the freaking game. Get down there, man. Call some vertical plays and get going, man. You got to shake it up. This whole dump it off to the tight end and he drops it 4 times for 3 yards. Your receivers are dropping it anyways when you're doing the dink and dunk safe stuff. Sorry, y'all. I got sick a few weeks back and my throat's going to continue to just destroy me all football season. But stop being so conservative, Denbrock. Get some vertical passing routes. Call some posts. Call some digs, man. It's just not working. You're being too conservative, playing not to lose the game, and expecting defense is going to carry you. It's not going to work. You got to take some risks. What? Scared money don't make money, baby. Whew. Y'all, I'm excited about a top 25 matchup. I'll be in the press box this weekend. Y'all make sure to hit subscribe, hit that bell on the channel. Mike will be back with Buddy Sonji tomorrow. I know y'all love them. Please hit that like button on the show. Please hit that like so that the algorithm gods determine that my show can continue on this channel because we get our show presented to the appropriate amount of people. Yeah, if you're going to throw to the tight end, put frickin' Besh in there and let him do something with it because we know he can do something with the ball. I'm tired of this whole, okay, you ran a drag route and you got it he dropped it. Okay, well, you know how frustrating it is to just have a stupid drop on a 4-yard drag? Your offense is still stalling. Get vertical. Be more aggressive, Denbrock and Jaden. Take that throw. Take that throw, my guy. Hey, appreciate all y'all watching. Remember, hit that like, subscribe button, all that good stuff. I will see y'all next Tuesday, including Stephen Miller will be here next Tuesday. Appreciate all y'all for watching. Appreciate Jay Hill for popping into the show. Night, y'all.